Hi, I had us on mute. Eric, are you able to hear us now?
Looks like Eric's on mute. No. Hi, Julie.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Allison. How are you?
Oh,
So nice to have people here in person. I'm so tired of staring at a screen.
yeah.
I much prefer person, as do I.
As long as they're not carrying a bag of rotten fruit.
I'm not even gonna ask. Have you had some?
And on that note,
Express their opinion.
6:30.
Okay, it looks like we've got 6:30. It is July 15th, and I hereby call this meeting of the Nahant Select Board to order. First off, we have opening comments for, let's see, we've got no dogs on beaches from May 1st through September 30th each year, except on Dog Beach. Resident parking stickers are available for purchase at nahant.org. Metal white goods TV recycling last Saturday of each month through October 31st from 8 a.m. noon behind the DPW garage. Certain fees apply. Visit nahant.org for more information. Compost area is open on Wednesdays and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. beginning April 4th. Visit nahant.org for a full list of material. Resident sticker is required. Market by the Sea is Saturdays on July 18th. That's coming up August 15th and September 12th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Flash Road Park. Visit the market page at nahant.org for more information. Under new business, we start with a vote to approve the fiscal year 27 master fee schedule. Awesome.
Oh, I thought there was an event request.
There is.
Did I jump over it?
Yeah.
Number
3.
New business, number 3.
Event request, community
Oh.
chorus.
Oop, I think.
Yep, I got it. Okay.
Oh, it's right during the
Oh, okay.
annotated.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I gotta get over the right one here. Okay. I move the select board vote to approve the event request for the community chorus for the Seaside Sirens on Saturday, August 22nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. at the Nahant Town Hall. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Discussion. It appears that tickets for the event are being sold to help support the Nahant Historical Society's community cultural endeavors. Is that why we have Julie Tommy with us? Let's hear from Julie then.
Trying to make it community-wide, get as many people there to sing along with us.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. All right. So again, Saturday, August 22nd. Hearing nothing further, a roll call vote,
Patty Karas, aye.
Pat Riley, aye.
and Rob Tibble, aye. We have a vote to approve fiscal year 27 master fee schedule. Now we have that vote. I move the select board vote to approve the FY 27 master fee schedule with changes as presented. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Discussion.
So we sent out the fee schedule to every department, asking them to submit any changes that they thought were needed for FY 27. Some of them are in line with collective bargaining contracts. So for instance, the police detail and the fire detail, that's as listed in the collective bargaining contracts, but we vote on it on the fee schedule as well. So that's one of the changes that's noted. Obviously, the water and sewer rates for FY 27 are part of the fee schedule. And those are just calculated based on the FY 27 budget that was voted at town meeting to support those operating budgets for the enterprise. The DPW Water Sewer Department also asked for an increase in water meter purchases new. We are going through a water meter replacement program, so every household will be getting a new water meter. This is if for some reason your water meter ends up breaking in the future and you'd have to replace it. The cost of that unit has gone up. So that's on here. The trash fee as well as on here. It's about a 6% increase. And again, that's to support the trash enterprise, and the main driving factor there is our household collection contract, which we have the 1-year extension for. There's a couple of small items. The town clerk recommended implementing a few fees, one $10 for a voters list, and then increasing by $5 the fee for obtaining a street list. And the Wharfinger submitted some recommendations to increase the storage fee.
Winter storage.
Winter storage, winter got cut off on this copy from 20 to 25. And then the pram rack storage fee from 30 to 50.
Just a clarification that the increase is to $25 per linear foot, so that would be $25 times the number of feet.
Oh, okay. Do I say that in there? So it says it per foot on the FY 26. I did not put that on FY 27, so I'll just have to add that in. Okay.
Okay. Anything further? Roll call vote.
Patty Carroll, aye.
Pat O'Reilly, aye.
And Rob Tibble, aye. And here comes the fun. Vote to approve the sale of notes and sign associated paperwork.
Our favorite vote of the year.
I feel like we've had longer ones than this one.
Do you have to read the whole document?
Yeah. Okay, so this is a vote of the board, a vote of the Board of Selectmen. I, the clerk of the Board of Selectmen of the town of Nahant, Massachusetts, certify that at a meeting of the board held July 15th, 2026, of which meeting all members of the board were duly notified and at which a quorum was present, the following votes were unanimously passed, all of which appear upon the official record of the board in my custody. Voted to approve the sale of the $5,721,084 4% general obligation bond anticipation notes, the notes of the town dated July 24th, 2026 and payable July 23rd, 2027 to Truist Securities Incorporated at par and accrued interest, if any, plus a premium of $60,414.65. Further voted that in connection with the marketing and sale of the notes, the preparation and distribution of a notice of sale and preliminary official statement dated June 23rd, 2026, and a final official statement dated June 30th, 2026, each in such form as may be approved by the town treasurer, be and hereby are ratified, confirmed, approved, and adopted. Further voted that the town treasurer and the Board of Selectmen be, and hereby are, authorized to execute and deliver a significant events disclosure undertaking in compliance with SEC Rule 15C2-12 in such form as may be approved by bond counsel to the town, which undertaking shall be incorporated by reference in the notes for the benefit of the holders of the notes from time to time. Further voted that we authorize and direct the town treasurer to establish post-issuance federal tax compliance procedures and continuing disclosure procedures in such forms as the town treasurer and bond counsel deem sufficient, or if such procedures are currently in place, to review and update such procedures in order to monitor and maintain the tax-exempt status of the notes and to comply with relevant securities laws. Further voted that any certificates or documents relating to the notes, collectively the documents, may be executed in several counterparts, each of which shall be regarded as an original and all of which shall constitute one and the same document. Delivery of an executed counterpart of a signature page to a document by electronic mail in a .pdf file or for other electronic transmission shall be as effective as delivery of a manually executed counterpart signature page to such document. An electronic signatures on any of the documents shall be deemed original signatures for the purposes of the documents and all matters relating thereto, having the same legal effect as original signatures. Further voted that each member of the Board of Selectmen, the town clerk, and the town treasurer be and hereby are authorized to take any and all such actions and execute and deliver such certificates, receipts, or other documents as may be determined by them or any of them to be necessary or convenient to carry into effect the provisions of the foregoing votes. Deep breath. I further certify that the votes were taken at a meeting open to the public, that no vote was taken by secret ballot, that a notice stating the place, date, time, and agenda for the meeting which agenda included the adoption of the above votes, was filed with the town clerk and a copy thereof posted in a manner conspicuously visible to the public at all hours in or on the municipal building that the office of the town clerk is located, or if applicable, in accordance with an alternative method of notice prescribed or approved by the Attorney General as set forth in 940 CMR 29.03 2B. At least 48 hours, not including Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays, prior to the time of the meeting and remain so posted at the time of the meeting that no deliberations or decision in connection with the sale of the notes were taken in executive session, all in accordance with General Laws, Chapter 30A, subsection 18-25, as amended, dated July 15, 2026. Clerk of the Board of Selectmen. Okay? Okay,
Very well done.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do I sign it online or?
Oh, you didn't vote.
Oh, right, okay. I saw this sign here, so I was like, what, do I do that now? Okay. So we have that in front of us and do I have a second?
You have a second.
And any discussion?
So this is just the annual borrowing that we do every year. The 5 million is comprised of a number of different ongoing projects. The town has historically issued these 1-year bans, and what we've done is we've paid down principal every year. And therefore we haven't had to go out and issue long-term bonds for these borrowings. It's been an effective tool for the town, but this covers projects from various paving authorizations that we have. It covers the CPC borrowing projects. It covers the amount that we borrowed for the Short Dune Beach project. So they're all lumped together into this one borrowing. We do it every July, and that's what this is in reference to.
Good.
Okay.
Anything further? Roll call vote.
Patty Carsey.
Pat O'Reilly, aye.
Rob Tibble, aye. And now we have a vote to approve the fiscal year 27 debt shift. And I will move the select board vote to approve the FY 27 water sewer debt shift in the amount of $1,430,877. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Discussion.
So this is a vote that we take annually as well. The town has historically raised the interest, principal and interest due on our water and sewer debt on the tax rate. And so this vote is taken by the board each year to approve that.
Okay. Further? Roll call vote.
Patty Carsey.
Pat O'Reilly, aye.
Rob Tibble, aye. And now we have a vote to approve the FY 27 water sewer trash rates, and I move the select board vote to approve the FY 27 rates for water sewer trash as follows: the water rate of $11.42 per 100 cubic feet, the sewer rate of $13.97 per 100 cubic feet, and the trash rate of $456 per residential household and $600 per commercial property. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Discussion.
So like I said, these were included on the fee schedule, but we do a separate vote as well. Sometimes we have to include it as an attachment when we do our tax rate recap and stuff. So we do a separate vote for it. The water fee is going up by 3%, sewer is going up by 4%, and like I said, trash is going up by 6%. The main drivers of the water and sewer rates are our MWRA and Lynn assessment. Obviously, we pay some salaries off of those. There's general operating expenses. So it's really just a calculation of the rate in order to cover those operating costs, and same on the trash side.
Okay, very good. And this brings us to ongoing business.
Vote on that?
Okay, Mr. Miller? Oh, I'm sorry.
Discussions.
Yes, discussion, yeah. Roll call vote.
Patty Carsey.
Pat O'Reilly, aye.
And Rob Tibble, aye. Seem to be in a big hurry. Okay, now we have ongoing business, a discussion of the Castle Road redesign and sidewalk.
Yep. So I've put this on there. Obviously, this has been this has been discussed in planning board meetings. I also attended last week's planning board meeting where they're starting to put together an agenda that they want to walk through when we schedule a joint meeting between the planning board and the select board. I think they're continuing to flesh that out. They didn't have a meeting this week. I believe they'll probably gonna have one next week. We still haven't set a date for a joint meeting to talk about this. They threw out a few dates in August, but nothing has been confirmed. So I just want to have it on our board's agenda to start discussions about it. And then knowing that we're going to have a joint meeting between both boards to talk about it further. So
Good, good. And we had originally decided that we would postpone our meeting with the planning board until after town meeting. So there was a delay on our part in that respect.
yep.
I don't know, I would love to meet with them in July if we could, just to get things started, but obviously August is their favorite date, so we should be able to make that happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And not anything further as far as developments as with respect to decisions on sidewalk and things like that.
Nope,
Okay.
no, nothing there.
All right then, we have a discussion of Coast Guard lot sales revenue. I know that we have a lot of hands being raised with respect to people interested in specific projects that they feel are maybe able to take advantage of some of this revenue. And so just have a little bit of an idea as to where we are and where we might be going.
So first thing that we had to use the sales for was to pay off the original $1.8 million loan that we used to acquire the property. And then it paid down the 1.2 million that we borrowed to demo the property. So to date, all of that's been paid off. So we have a net of just over 2 million sitting in a receipts reserve for appropriation account. So I wanted the board to start to talk about, possible ideas and uses of this because it came up during the budget process this year, particularly when we started talking about an override and, well, why can't this money be used for some of these needs? I do want to make it clear that the money has to be used for a capital purpose for which you would otherwise borrow. I don't think that many people understand that's by state statute. Whenever you sell off town-owned property, there's a certain statute that governs how you use the proceeds. So it's to pay off the original debt, and then it has to be used for a capital project for which you would otherwise borrow. So it couldn't be used to support operating expenses. I did explain that several times in finance committee budget meetings, when we're talking about the operating budget. So
And also it's one-time revenue.
and it's one-time money,
So
yeah.
you can't just
Yeah.
pay salaries with it because that's recurring costs.
Mhm.
Because we have to lay people off at the end.
Turn it into something that'll.
Same reason why, when we have free cash and we purposely appropriate that for one-time capital expenses, there are towns that have used it for operating expenses, and it does, free cash is not guaranteed every year. So that does come to an end, and it's not a good practice to use for operations similar to this. So I just wanted to start to talk about it. One thing that has come to my attention is the library is going through a campaign by which they're fundraising to support additional restoration of the building. And they are also considering adding onto the building, possibly a children's room. I've been approached about, well, could the Coast Guard housing revenues possibly be used for this? So I just want that to be out there, that has been brought up. The donors are seeking a town match for the donations that they're making. And the only way that I could see a match as if we borrowed the money. Other than that, we don't have a significant source of revenue. So that's something that's been brought to my attention that I just wanted to discuss. I also think, we just talked about the Castle Road redesign. When we get to the point of rebuilding the sidewalks, I think this would be an appropriate use of the funds. So that's a project that I would want to have on the list. And originally, when we were going through the Coast Guard housing sales, there was talk about possibly using some of the proceeds towards a public safety building or a new fire police station, which we just underwent a feasibility study for that. So you can see there's many, things out there that are trying, to take a hold of $2.1 million that we have right now.
Which we've now spent in our heads about 20 times over.
Yeah.
Goodness, yes. And there's a timing issue here. I don't know about, as far as the library is concerned, how long their matching gift offer remains open. We have no way of telling when this money is going to be freed up.
Correct.
Yeah, so there's that.
And again, anything that's kind of decided, obviously it would have to go to town meeting to be formally approved and appropriated.
Right. And we do have a time, one thing that came to our attention was the time limit on rebuilding of the sidewalks, was I think 5 years from the sale of the property. So to rebuild them within the easement.
Yeah.
So that's, a ticking clock too, essentially. So
Correct.
that's certainly a worthy use of these funds potentially. I think we haven't discussed much a Goddard way, or whether that was intended to be repaved at some point after construction is complete. So
Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, it certainly would need to be on the list, but I'm not sure if that would necessarily just go to the paving plan overall, or
Right.
come out of its funds.
I remember a conversation as to whether or not National Grid would be interested in putting gas in that street, but I don't remember where it went from there. And I know you're aware of a rather interesting situation as far as powering the last couple of houses at the end of Goddard Drive, where there's a long cable that extends out over one lot and into the
That's right.
circle.
Yes.
So that might be another opportunity as far as depressing those electrical lines coming into Goddard if we're going to do a paving project anyway. Get rid of that long span of cable, just put it underground. But things to think about.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea what it would cost in terms of rebuilding the sidewalks? Has any estimates been thrown out there? I'm curious.
I do not have an estimate, no.
I mean, that makes the most sense.
I mean, so there has been one plan that has been discussed, and it was created when Tony was here as town administrator, done by Stantec. That's one plan that's on. I haven't heard any numbers attached to that and what's included and everything like that. So no, I don't have an estimate.
So I think our discussions with the planning board will help inform next steps, and then we will need to get some numbers around whatever comes out of those discussions.
It's certainly going to involve a procurement process too, because I imagine it would be greater than 50,000.
Oh, yeah.
And it depends how much of the street or the entire street, if that needs to be redone and curbing and all that. So it's not an insubstantial. So definitely over 50.
Yeah, so we'd have to go through a full RFP process.
Yeah, I don't think it would be the entirety of the Coast Guard.
Gosh, help us.
Yeah, it shouldn't be anywhere near.
Well, if we delay long enough.
With inflation, well, you never.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's a good summary.
So, and I think that we should continue to have this on the agenda.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. It's obviously getting a lot of traction amongst our residents as far as what the solution is ultimately going to be, and I know, just even going back to the video that Tony Barletta did back in August of 24, where he basically is looking at a couple different approaches here. And so it's there's a lot of thought in the process as far as where we're going to land. Good.
So how do we want to approach the next steps? I mean, obviously keep it on the agenda.
Yeah, and just to keep it alive in the meantime, we're, I think, close to getting some dates for.
Well, are we talking about Coast Guard housing sales or revenue, or are you going back to talking about that?
Yeah,
Or
no,
kind of
well, it's kind of,
commingling?
it's kind of intertwined now because we're talking about the money to do the sidewalks and the sidewalk, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of meeting, going back to the actual work, in terms of a joint meeting with the planning board, that's kind of in their court right now. If they do have a meeting next week, I'd like to join it just to see how it progresses, but my understanding is that they want to flesh out this, an agenda for that meeting. So I'm waiting for more direction on a date from them, but in terms of the Coast Guard sale revenue.
I think it would be good to at least have some thoughts on next steps. It's a substantial amount of money, and I think I was going to joke that should we just say for now, call Rob if you have an idea how to spend the money, or you. But I think we're going to have to have a fairly structured process for, taking into consideration various, like the budgeting process, essentially. What are the capital needs of the town in the near term? I don't know that we're not going to be able to solve all of our capital needs.
Not even a beginning.
I think it's not even close, but
Yeah.
it would be nice to have a good handle from a holistic approach of what they are.
Yeah, I mean,
Because there are many.
the town. I mean, town hall has some issue. Some maintenance issues that could become well over $50,000 for capital projects. So I think getting those prioritized and right fit for this amount of money in this time frame.
I agree.
Sure.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can start working on that
Yeah.
and in consultation with Zach as well, so. I don't know if I'd have something to present at the next meeting. I do know there are individuals who do want to discuss the use of these funds in terms of the donation match for the library. They weren't able to attend tonight, so I said that could be spoken about at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how much money they're looking to raise for the library?
I don't know how much they're looking to raise, but the match that they're seeking, I do know that amount, and that is $1 million. So it's like a 3-for-1.
I was gonna say, it's
Yeah,
Large multiple.
yes.
Yeah.
yeah, and this is to me where our money gets the greatest leverage. It's in many cases we're looking at situations where is it better to pay with the cash that we have, or is it better to borrow at a really good rate? And that to me is going to be a constant comparison that you'll be making.
Yes.
But that 3-to-1 match, from a timing standpoint, if they're looking to, if that match has a termination date on a sunset date, then we may have to seek alternate means anyway. We may not have the cash that fast available. So that could change that situation very quickly.
Right, and yeah, depending on the time frame, we'd have to consider a special town meeting if it was before the annual town meeting. I think that would obviously be a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Given the remainder of the summer.
In the meantime, we've got the sidewalks to pay for.
Yeah, and I think it could be good to have some idea, at least ballpark numbers on some of these other issues. But we have a fixed amount that they're requesting, 1 million for the library. We obviously have to go through a series of meetings to inform the public and see what they're asking. Get support for that, so that we'd have to get support from town meeting. So I think, you know, and then, but understanding what the needs, I think other needs would help with that discussion. Because that's the first thing everyone is going to ask is,
Of course.
well, what else do we have to, you know, have to pay for in the next few years?
I can imagine that Allison could be presenting quite a list if, once people get word that we're looking for input on.
Oh, yes. I mean, I get a list every year, right? And I have to make a determination of what's critical, what is large enough that we're gonna borrow for, and what we can support with just free cash or fit into our operating budget for 1 year. So, yeah, there's a lot of capital needs.
Should be plenty of ways to spend this money. Okay. We all set?
Yes.
Parking, one more time to the play for parking for this month?
Same thing, so parking policy I put on here again, 2 meetings ago. We met and discussed a draft of a policy that I had drafted, just basically. You know, I wrote down what the current practice is. I went back and I watched the meeting and I thought that we accepted that, but then I'm not sure. So I wanted to revisit that here tonight. I also wanted to give an update on this board gave me the direction to go ahead and develop a committee. I've done that. I think I told you before our last meeting, we had met once. I have another meeting scheduled for tomorrow, where we are going to dig into some of those items that we had said would take longer to kind of pan out. So some of them being signage, some of them being an inventory on roads and how much parking is available on roads, looking at guest parking and visitor parking and how we might be able to do that differently. So I am having a meeting tomorrow, but I wanted clarification on if the board is in favor of the current draft that I put into place to document what we currently do. That's my question.
So my understanding was that we had voted to both adopt what our current understanding, formally adopt what our current understanding as you drafted as the town policy, and also the amendment to the motion to adopt that was to also set up the parking committee. That was my understanding of what we voted on. And if that's, you know, I would still support that going forward in that way.
So,
I'm just concerned that we are going to confuse people more than help. Especially around the guest parking issue, because it's very vague, the way it's written currently. If you want to expand upon current practice is contact the police department.
I think that is what I included in there. So for guest and visitor parking, contact the police department and they'll accommodate when feasible, I think is what I said.
I completely agree that that was vague, but that's also been the current policy for
Just concerned about that, especially as, you know, ticketing is happening around town and it's very, very big and.
Well, so I think where it does help us though is that at least following some of the online discussions, you know, some people were saying, oh, just put a note in your car on the dash. There were a lot of variations of rumors about what the actual practice was.
right,
And I think it does at least make it concrete in that, yes, please contact the police for direction on whether it's okay to park.
I can say that for as long as I can remember, the policy was to stick a note under your windshield wiper.
Yeah,
And quite honestly, police have, and neighbors, there's no way of telling whether you're visiting so-and-so or going to the beach, based on that note on the windshield. So I like the idea of at least letting the police know or bringing the police into the equation as far as saying, no, I'm visiting Rob Tibbo and my car is going to be parked on Fox Hill Road and here's my license plate number. I'd like to have at least that much there uh, for the time being anyway. And I think the police are ready to accept that as far as.
So the Chief Furlong and Lieutenant Schultz are part of the parking committee. And they are in favor of continuing that practice. I know that we said we'd continue to look into other solutions for guest parking. But right now, they said it is helpful on an ad hoc basis, and they gave a few examples. Of like one house that had a large party with a lot of guests, and they did contact the police. The police actually went down and helped to park the cars to make sure that it wasn't blocking anything or, impeding a public safety vehicle from coming down. So for those kind of situations, they do want individuals contacting them. I understand Patty's point as well, though, like we don't want to inundate the police department if it's a one-off, but both the chief and the lieutenant said that that's what they prefer right now.
Which is fine.
Mhm.
But how do you educate people? Because you're referring them to a website, right? And not everybody reads the website.
Mhm.
Well, I think it's just, that's one of the reasons it's important to have that policy adopted and in writing for at least now. And also to have a baseline for making changes to the policy, because otherwise we're just kind of crafting out of thin air, or it seems like we're crafting it out of thin air. And I think we can start to stray from previous practice. I think things in that parking policy, half the town may have understood it one way and half the town understood it another way.
Question.
And for decades, and I some of the things that I was told were longstanding practices, I had no idea that was the actual practice for decades. And I informed one of my neighbors of the actual policy after we had voted on that. That was, no, if it's not posted, no resident only parking, you can have people parking there. So that's it. I think the parking policy, my understanding of it, the current policy, and that what we were presented in the draft, is, as far as is a working draft. It is the policy. This is representative of current practices, but there are gaps, edge cases. I know my wife was a visiting nurse in Lynn for a number of years and had a placard, that she would put in the window. And do we want to make that more official? Like if you work for a healthcare provider visiting a patient, just to say, have an official placard or something. So you don't have to call the police station. But maybe we just keep it as it's, do call the police, because we have so many roads that are impassable if you try to park in front of the house. So I think those are things that the parking committee can get into.
That's what we're gonna dig into, yes.
I imagine that's right at the top of the list, but if we were to say right now, here and now, that the policy is that you call the police if you're going to either the homeowner calls, says, I'm gonna have these vehicles out in front of my house, here are the license numbers, that should cover it for now. Is that?
Well, that was what was in the draft policy.
That's what was in the, no, but I'm saying this to the item right now.
Right.
And saying that if we make that commitment right here and now, maybe the item can publish it.
So to Patty's point, I think if we're all on board with, again, saying that this is the current draft, it would go on the website, but how else would we educate people besides being, the item and things like that?
Could we do robocall?
We could do a robocall to ask people to look at the policy online. I mean, I don't know if we could read.
I think that might have been ahead of July 4th or the last weekend's events, but.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying read the whole thing, but in
Mm.
terms of
It's kind of something.
a very brief summary.
Even maybe the light board in Little Nahant is you go to nahant.org for current updates on parking.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's actually a very good.
yeah, and that's kind of what I would think of putting in like a robocall instead of more reading it, being like, go to Nahant dot. Another way to notify people to go to the website to read it.
Yeah, for current updates on guest parking.
Yeah. Okay, I can do that.
Okay, item, we good?
Or, you know, for those that might not have access to a computer, also, you know, come to the town hall.
Oh, yes. Everybody's always welcome to come to town hall. I'll get more information.
We're assuming
Yeah.
he has a computer. You
I know, and we do rely, again, the website is one of our public posting places for, for meeting agendas too. We do rely heavily on the website. Everyone's always welcome to call. We do get a lot of calls to town hall. We're answering the phones all day, so people can call town hall. People can walk in too. I'm happy to help. We're always happy to help people who walk in.
Yeah, I just put it on the parking clerk's wall and we're been.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I love that. And yeah, the parking clerk is located here at Town Hall too. So she is the appropriate person to answer a lot of these questions. She's also on the committee too. So yeah, all of the above. Mhm.
We good?
Yeah.
We good?
Makes sense.
All right. So the parking policy, so that brings us to the town administrator's report. What do you have left for us?
I have nothing really prepared for town administrator report. I do just wanna talk about, because we haven't had a public meeting since last Friday when we had our big wharf party for the tall ships. And I just wanna recognize that a lot of work went into that, and it was all done by volunteers. So there was a large fundraiser that happened in May. This volunteer group has been meeting for months to prepare for this event. We lined up food vendors, and Bentwater Beer was there. We had a bunch of musicians. The sailing program took people out on sailboat rides. I went on one, and the two instructors that I had were the cutest. And so personable. It just made me really proud of the programs that we have in Nahant. We had face painting. So we had no idea what to expect in terms of turnout for this event. I think it well exceeded our expectations. Rob served on the committee. Julie, who's here, was a big help. I just want to say thank you to all the people that put that together. We had Council on Aging van, the van driving around, picking up people at parking lots. So we had the drivers driving around, just so many people involved in it. It was really a great thing. My family enjoyed it, and it was a super cool event. Somebody said that when we do this again next year, to have more food vendors. And I said, oh, we're not doing this next year.
The tall ships are coming
It
back.
only comes, well, and we did have an event the week before, on the 4th of July, we have an event down at the wharf, and that in itself is, tough for a small town like us to put together. I'm getting the band, we're getting the fireworks, Jen McCarthy's selling t-shirts to fundraise. We have a very small town side budget that, helps to support some of the costs, but it's a huge effort just for 4th of July. So the July 10th event was very large, but it turned out well. The police and our emergency management team, they were working all weekend, just everybody coming into town. We had such a great vantage point for the tall ships, and we encouraged people from out of town to come in. We did relax our parking a little bit, and really encourage people to come and enjoy. And I think it was really awesome. So thank you to everyone who was involved.
And let me just say that again, that as you mentioned, this whole thing started with basically a small group of people that came together and said.
Well, it was Eric Curtin,
Well,
and
yeah.
I know he's on the phone. He
Yeah,
approached
and-
me, and I was like, I don't like event planning.
They said, hey, the tall ships are coming to Boston, we ought to do something,
Mhm.
and it just
Right.
grew and grew and grew, and to me, having been to a few Nahant parties over the years, this is the standard that we'll compare all future parties to, because this was huge. The people loved it. I think the only complaints that we heard were that we didn't have enough food trucks. The funny thing there is that we had two more than we even planned for. Okay, they just showed up, right?
Pizza truck was a last minute addition.
So it's we were in really good shape, and what a wonderful time. What a wonderful time. So
I keep saying my son had his face painted by the face painter there. We were first in line. We stopped her when she came in at 4 o'clock. And he had a lobster boat painted on his face, and I was not allowed to wash that off for 2 full days. So I think the face painter was a hit, and Josh had lines about it. Josh Anderson. Yeah.
okay.
I heard rumors they might try to get the tall ships back for the 400th anniversary for Boston in 2030. But so we might have a few years.
Yeah, I can
Might be.
decompress. 30, yeah.
I hope to be able to that. You know, we gotta kind of plan carefully. Okay, so that brings us to.
That's all I had, yeah.
Citizens comment. I've got a couple of things there. Okay, looks like George Mahoven's hand went up.
Yep.
Yes,
George.
hi, George Mahoven, 64 Lennox Road over in Little Nahant. I have a question about the parking policy. Could you tell me, and also the item, I guess, and the resident of Nahant, what in the world the parking stickers for? I'm hearing that people are getting tickets for parking in front of their house because they don't have a parking sticker. I've been in town for 60 some odd years, and I've never ever heard anybody say you need a parking sticker to park in front of your house. I believe the parking stickers were up at East Point, excuse me, the parking lot down at Lowlands, the wharf, and the little parking lot over at East Point. I don't understand why anybody needs to get a parking sticker to park in front of their house. And again, could you explain to me and the resident of Nahant what the parking regulations are for the residents of Nahant?
What you just said is correct. Parking sticker is to park in those beach lots as well as the wharf. So it is not to park, you don't need a sticker to park in front of your house. People who got those tickets, I don't know, I don't know if there was any signage at those, but that's not what the sticker is for. And they're certainly welcome to come in and bring those tickets into the town.
I recommend you also, George, that you mentioned that you heard about these people. If there's any way that you can identify them and ask them to contact Allison directly to give us some more
Yeah,
information
I
on
can tell you
that.
one of them, my brother across the street, I tried to tell the police officer not to ticket him. I thought you were supposed to run the tag, and he wasn't very nice about it. And he gave my brother a ticket, and my brother went up and, went to the parking clerk. But again, I tried to explain to the officer, I believe that the parking committee said that you were supposed to run the plate first. So
Correct.
this was about a week and a half ago, so it wasn't that long ago.
So, did you say your mother or your brother?
Brother.
I wish it was my mother, God rest her soul.
Okay.
Yep.
But
And
no,
you
it
did
was
bring
my,
it to the
my
parking clerk?
brother with a brother with a B.
Oh, yep, gotcha.
My brother from the same mother.
Yeah, gotcha. I just want to make sure I heard it correctly. So can we look into that ticket? Can we have that pulled, or have we had it pulled? Is there a way, try to figure out?
Yes, that ticket should not be valid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
If
well,
there-
again, he went up and excuse me, and did whatever he had to do with the parking clerk. But I was just kind of astounded that there was even happening, and I've heard about other people around town that had the same thing happening. And then
well, that's where I would like to explore this one. Since we have one that's identified, maybe we can just trace it back to try and get a feel for where we,
Sure.
went wrong.
Yep.
then my other question is, you guys mentioned signage. I'm seeing all around Little Nahant now these resident-only parking signs. Where do they come from, and how come I don't see any in Big Nahant at all?
Well, you're gonna.
Oh, there's a few.
We have resident only signs in Big Nahant also. We also have a lot of parking by permit signs, which we're trying to get rid of because they don't really fit the model. So the standard is going to be resident only as far as any restrictions in that regard.
Well, that makes sense, but could you tell me where the resident only parking sticker signs are in Big Nahant? Because I've been up and all around Big Nahant, and I haven't seen any. The only things I see
Not off the top of my head, George, but I'll be glad to make a note when I see one, and I'll let you know. In the meantime,
Okay.
you're gonna see more of them in Nahant,
Yeah.
as in Big Nahant, as the permit-only parking signs are taken down and be replaced by resident only.
So that doesn't mean resident sticker parking only, which it says in
No,
front of
correct.
It says
the wharf.
resident
It's
only.
just
President.
Yeah,
resident
no, this-
parking only, and
Yeah,
the police are to run the plate to make sure it's a resident of the Nahant before they stick a ticket on it.
That's, yep.
Okay, I hope the Lynn item got that and they can print that because I know there's a big bunch of confusion running around this town about that.
We understand that, George, and that's why the signs that say permit parking only are being taken down, because we don't have a permit for parking in residential areas.
That's what I thought. And one more question. Any idea when they're gonna start the dune restoration project down in Short Beach, AKA Sandy Beach?
Yes. We're going through the permitting process now, and I believe that you'll actually see the project take place starting in September.
Okay, one more question. What's going on at 47 Little Nahant Road? Did you finally shut those people down with the non-owner occupied Airbnb that they've been running down there?
I believe it's in the courts.
Dan might be able to speak to that.
Oh yeah, we got an injunction weeks ago. And it's been vacant for I think over a week now. It's been sparsely occupied since then. So
Yeah, but
stuff.
sparsely doesn't mean shut down. How come they're not shut down?
Well,
we can't we can't prevent them from having guests and invitees, but in terms of paid customers, they can't have those anymore. And they haven't. I've driven by there many times, George. It's been vacant most of the time. So let's be
I
happy for
beg
what
to
we
differ with
have.
you, Dan. I beg to differ. I live right around the corner from there. Up until a week ago, that one day I went by, there was 3 cars. One of them parked on the sidewalk, and because that driveway will only hold
Right.
2. So
There was a
they-
Thursday,
they-
Friday incident, but since then it's been vacant, George. George,
Uh-huh.
realize we've done good stuff there, George.
Well,
Appreciate that.
I do
We're-
appreciate it. Believe
we're-
me, I do appreciate it. I thought it took way too long to do it, but I do appreciate it. It's finally being done. And how much money have you collected for them not paying the fines?
George,
The fines that
George, I think we need to stop here. We've done everything legally possible to try and control this issue, and we'll continue to do so.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Who else do we have?
iPhone 7.
Hi, this is Kerry Collins, 22 Breezy Hill Terrace. First of all, I'm looking forward to your planning board meeting, joint meeting, because if you've passed by Castle Road and whatnot, the sidewalks are being taken by the land owners. Grass is being put in, and digging is going right to the street line. And the $2 million that is the revenue for these sales, for sure should be going into fixing this horrendous problem that has happened because of the sale of the sidewalks. Second of all, I'm just gonna throw in my hat in the ring on the parking. We had a really busy weekend. Seems like everybody did okay. Wasn't a big deal. Invited the public in. The police have stated, get your sticker and you can park in the haunt. Maybe we need to not figure out where all our party people are gonna go and our guests, and we make our resident sticker for residents. They park on the street when they can. And when you have guests, you have them park in your parking lot, your parking space, and you get to park on the street. But I don't think you can have it both ways, where our parking sticker is just for like beach parking and wharf, and then expect our cops to put in all this energy running plates because they're parked in front of their street. Get your sticker. That's what they said to us. And I really don't think we need overflow parking or visitor parking unless we're going to open up this town to more people, more small businesses, and whatnot, more revenue. from those things, but the parking issue really is like, I know you guys know this, small potatoes compared to what's coming up in the next couple of years. So that's what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Julie Thomas?
Truly in person.
I just want to say that Friday's event was fantastic. It was wonderful to see all those people down there and all the comments that I have heard outside of, we needed more food trucks, but as Allison stated, we had no idea how many people were gonna show up. Was that it was a wonderful community event. And that is what we at the Historical Society are trying our best to continue with, community events. And in 2 years, we will have another big community event, which is Nahant's 175th anniversary as a town. So that's something to start.
So you're saying I need to line up food trucks for that, Julie? We commit.
That's
2030.
We're gonna get Linda Lehman big.
I'm just kidding.
Freeze it all.
All Appleton and Bremen,
but-
for the 10.
I mean, it was wonderful, and people did say how wonderful it was to come to Nahant, non-residents, to come to Nahant and enjoy the afternoon, seeing the tall ships, which maybe come every decade, and it was a wonderful event. As far as the parking, I think it all worked out. The COA bus and the school bus each put about 65 miles on the vans. Just looping and looping, they drove for 9 hours, shuttling people around. They didn't complain, they stopped when they could, ran into a friend's house to use the bathroom, got back in the seat, continued to. Everybody just cooperated on such a positive note that it's something we wanna hold on to, we wanna hold on to the positivity. And as far as the parking, 45 years ago, I got married in this town at my house, and I went to the police first and said, gonna have this big party, what do? They said the same thing then that they said to me 2 weeks ago when we were having parking from the life-saving station. Just tell the people how to park, where to park, how many cars are you looking for, and have them all park on the same side of the street so that you don't have a road that goes like that. So thank you, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. I think that's it. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
You have a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Any any debate? All in favor?
Patty Carazat.
Pat O'Reilly, aye.
Rob Tibble, aye. Thank you, everyone. Good
Thank you.
night.
Hi.